I get scared when someone shows me so much love because I feel like I have to double it or reciprocate, if not more than you're already showing me. It's something I'm working towards on, to accept that people can love me from the bottom of their hearts without expecting anything. So that's why the answer is no. I don't think I have let myself be loved fully.
Yeah. Hi, Dima again.
You people.
Hey guys, again. Welcome back to yet another episode. So in the previous episode, Dima asked me 10 deep life questions that I didn't know where it came from. But I gave my answers to the best of my feelings. So I'm going to be asking her the same questions today. And let's see what she thinks. I asked if they were midnight questions, and you're like, no, they are. They are actually the kind of questions you do when you embark on a self-discovery journey. And when you really start thinking about your purpose for life, you know. Yeah. And I think they are very insightful questions. So I'm going to be asking her 10 of those questions today. Let's see what she thinks. So first of all, you do a swear. I swear to be as honest
I swear to be as honest. Whatever I'm going to say is where I am currently in life. Like currently.
Or even what you've gone through, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. My experiences, my past experiences, everything that I have gone through as a human adult.
Okay. So the first one is, what does a meaningful life look like for you?
Honestly, a meaningful life for me is just a life of purpose. What I mean by that is just a life where I get to do stuff for people. And I don't mean like kill myself or overdo. I really genuinely, honestly enjoy helping people. So that's actually what motivates me. It starts with my family. As long as I'm being used for someone calls me, Chidima, this, and I'm able to help. So as long as I can just be able to help people, no matter how little, that's what a meaningful life means to me. Honestly, just a life of purpose and help. If I can render help to people, it brings me so much joy. When I hear, Dima, thank you so much for this. I did not know that this was going to be this help, or you don't know how you've saved me, or you don't know how this thing you did. It wasn't not necessarily in monetary terms, but just maybe if someone is going through something and I'm able to bring joy or smile to the person's face, that's what the meaningful looks like for me.
Okay, I'm happy that you said that. I probably would make a list of my needs. Let's see how much I can satisfy. I need this to make me happy. Okay. The next one is, what legacy do you want to leave behind?
What legacy I want to leave behind still flows down to what meaningful life means to me. I feel like the ways that I want to help people, I'm helping people. Even from my family and extending outside, I want people to be able to carry that on. To be able to not just focus on themselves, but believe that we are all in this together. The way I can make your life better, either by not making life insufferable for you or being mean to you, just kindness. So the legacy I want to be when people think about me is I learned this from them, mother. Well, we ought to be kind to people. We ought to be able to make the best of our ability. That's really the legacy that I want to give. That's why sometimes I'm I'm creating some of this content that even when I'm gone, people are going to, in one way or the other, benefit from it. So that's the kind of legacy I want to leave.
That's interesting. That's a very good one. Have you ever loved fully and allowed yourself to be loved?
I have loved fully. I love fully. To the best of my knowledge, I think I do. I have loved wholeheartedly. My family, I feel when I was younger, sometimes I'll be sometimes I stay and think of death. I don't know why that happens. I'll stay and think of that. I can remember one time I was very late, either in Chester or Chester. I was sweeping the compound, and then my dad passed. I don't know how the thought just crossed my head that this man is going to die someday, and I was like, God, please, can I die instead of him, just so that he can live, because of the love that I have for him. I feel like my family, mostly my immediate family, they can have all of me. Do you get? So I have loved deeply when it comes to that. I've also when I'm in a romantic relationship with you, I actually love you wholeheartedly. And even my friends, you can feel my love, right? comes to friendship, like I love wholeheartedly, but the thing is, like once you make me question that love for you,
I'm cutting it off.
I exit.
Yes.
But you get what I do. Then have I allowed myself to be loved fully? I don't think 100%.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel like when people love me fully, I'm inconveniencing them. I don't know if that makes
I know. I feel the same.
So sometimes like when people are showing me so much love, I'm like,
maybe they are putting in too much effort.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that is very bad.
Maybe
I feel like
stressing them.
Yeah, I feel like that's a trauma response. I don't know if that, but like I feel like when people are showing me so much love, I try to reciprocate it with more love, if that makes sense. And I feel like that is not good. Something is causing that. I don't know what exactly that is. I'm yet to figure it out.
Yeah.
But I get scared when someone shows me so much love, because I feel like I have to double it or reciprocate, if not more than you're already showing me. It's something I'm working towards, on to accept that people can love me from the bottom of their heart without expecting anything. So that's why the answer is no. I don't think I have let myself be loved fully.
Yeah. I mean, this is your time, but I want to chime into what you just said. I think it's the savior complex, because I was speaking with a friend yesterday and we were talking about something, and she's like, it's because you're having empathy towards them based on the level I am. Like, I'm putting people in my shoes. So it's because you've attained some level of success. And when people who have not attained that level of financial success are trying to help you, you feel like they are stressing themselves, because you know, like, that they need it more than you. So you feel like they are stressing themselves too much.
Because you know, the funny thing is not even the financial aspect. Even when it comes to friendship, even some people that are wealthier than me, I don't even think is in terms of like the financial aspect. But I get what you mean when people, But that I'm even talking about, like, let's say for example now, maybe you do something, go out of your way, and I know that that's really stretched you.
Oh, I see.
And you can be doing it from a complete place of, oh no, it's because I love the man. It is okay for me to go through that. I will start feeling.
But you're like, oh, even if you didn't do it, I would still have loved you.
Exactly. You get so like. Say for example, like one of my friends that came for my dad's burial, and the person like really went out of bed. Oh my god, the person was like, is like way financially better than I am, but like I felt like I owed the person for life. So I just get scared, like, would I be able to reciprocate this amount of love that I had just received?
I totally can understand. What are you most afraid of, and why?
One of my worst fears had already happened, which is losing my loved ones, and I lost my dad. Like it was the highest of the highest, like losing my parents and siblings. It's still one of my biggest fears, losing a loved one. And what even now affirms it more is losing my dad, and knowing how hurtful and painful it is. Like even when you were talking and you talked about like losing your father and your brother, all of a sudden I had this wave of emotion. Like I remember that I almost stood up. I'm like, will you go? Will you go back inside?
He wouldn't want you to cry.
Exactly. Like when you kept on saying like they wouldn't want you to, you know, be hurt or going through so much. So as you said, all of a sudden I was just seeing him and like, why are you not here? Tears up. You see where I wanted the tears. Like, are you trying to cry? So my worst fear still remains losing loved ones. I don't know, because I'm a people person and I love deeply. I think that's the problem. So like, because I love so deeply, let's say I'm attached to people, and I don't know if it's a good or bad thing. So when I love people, I love them with everything in me.
When you hurt
exactly. Do you get? So I love them with everything in me, that if you listen to me pray secretly, 70-80% of my prayer is about my loved ones, not dying, not being stuck. Like I pray for my loved ones a lot, because I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose you guys. Like, so that's still,
that shit changes you.
It changes you so much. Like,
because when I was growing up, what is death? You grow old and die. Do you understand? But when I lost a brother who was young, who was like 29 at that time,
that's my age mate,
it messed with my mind. This was when I was about entering second year in school. It messed with my mind because I didn't understand how a young, kind, and innocent person would die. It was an accident. It wasn't even sickness, you know. So like the whole thing messed with my mind, and it brought me to the reality of, oh, people can actually die. And I feel like I've had some consciousness ever since, you know, because now you know that people can die, you know, and so it doesn't leave you the same. Honestly, the hurt is always somewhere, you know, and from time to time it will be like how far,
like,
but you just have to suppress it and keep moving on.
So that's actually my biggest fear.
Yeah. Okay, when have you felt most alive?
When I was very young. I will not lie, like, hey, I will not lie.
Support you at that.
God, like, till tomorrow, when people ask me the time that I was truly mostly alive and happy was my childhood
as well.
Jesus Christ, I cannot compare it.
Nothing to be worried about.
I cannot compare it to anything because I was like, I grew up with my brothers, grew up in a compound where 6 families and all of us were minimum of 4 kids and all of us were age mates. Oh my goodness, like I felt because I was doing very dangerous games but like I was alive. I don't know how to explain it. Like you were
taking risks because you didn't have certain knowledge.
There was no fear. Like exactly, there were a lot of things I didn't know. Till tomorrow, like sometimes I'm like, take me back. So that was when I felt the most alive. But now, as an adult, I really do not know, honestly. I'm just like, make we just go. But like my childhood days when I felt most alive, I did a lot of things without thinking twice, and I had this adrenaline as well, and it kept me alive. Life was so interesting and sweet back then. Not like life is not interesting and sweet now, but now there are consequences.
You have to just end it. Like
exactly.
Don't be too hard.
You have exactly. But back then it was just freestyle. I didn't even know what I was doing. So that was when I felt most alive, honestly.
And if you got into trouble, you can be excused. You were just a child, you know. But now you can just police. There are consequences to
my childhood days were when I felt most alive.
If you could talk to your younger self, what would you say?
Lessen the burden. That you're the first daughter doesn't mean that you have to carry everyone on your shoulder. Sometimes take a break. Like growing up, I think because I had a lot of siblings, I automatically just assumed my dad, he made me in charge. I don't know how to.
He validated you.
Because of that validation, I felt very important and felt like it was my responsibility as well to take care of other people. And like, he'll come back and be like, but Uma, like this, I was thinking you. Like, so I think he unknowingly gave me responsibilities. Maybe because he also knew that you are capable.
And that belief drives. It drives you.
Yes, it does. Like, I think that's also what got me to at least this point in my life where it's not like I would say I'm doing okay for myself. So I think what I'll tell her is take a breather sometimes. It's okay to not be the savior. It's okay to have fun and, you know, spend on yourself. I was so frugal, like I could spend on anybody. Someone will come with responsibilities and struggles. Me, I'm also struggling, but I'll always put them first. So I'll tell her,
you know, you can always be able to survive your own and figure it out.
So I'll tell her to be kinder to herself. I'll tell her to spoil herself and treat herself a little bit. I'll tell her to smile more. I'll tell her not to carry the whole world on her shoulder and overthinking. Like, it's okay, baby girl, like you're going to be fine. And I'll tell her to allow herself be loved.
You probably heard her because you're doing all these things that she told you. So that's a very good one. The next one is, what does success really mean to you? Not the society's version.
Success to me, anytime, any day, would be me and my loved ones feeling fulfilled and happy. Like, just nobody is sick, nobody is dying, everybody is healthy and content, nobody is suffering. That's actually what success means to me. If I call you and we're talking like, like we are happy, all of us can just travel, go somewhere. That's just what happiness means to me. My loved ones being healthy and happy, and me being content. Like, that's actually what success. Other worldly noise, I don't really care about it. Like, me being with, like, whenever, that's why, like, traveling home Christmas is very personal for me. Whenever I travel back home and it's just me and my siblings, we are bantering, gisting, arguing, whose turn is it to cook? Whose turn is it to sweep the house?
No, I don't like that argument. Because always win.
No, in my house, how we do it, so we end up with paying someone money. So like that, like whenever I go back to my dad's house and all my siblings are around and we're just bantering, gisting, playing, ask, okay, who is cooking? Let's contribute money. Who wants to wash? All those things. That's actually what success means to me. Like my loved ones, my friends, all of us being happy without being sick and not being depressed or being anxious or sad. That's happiness.
I'm getting emotional. That's a very good one. I feel exactly the same way. Have you made peace with your past?
Some of them, yes. Some of them, I'm still working towards that. I wouldn't say that I have 100% completely made peace with them. Like, there are some things that I have done that I wish I didn't do, but some days I remember them and be like, oh, if only. And I know that it's not always good, but as a human being, sometimes the past also comes to the present and I tend to overthink, which I know that I'm supposed to have worked on, but I'm still working on them. So I wouldn't 100% say that I have made peace with it. Like there's this one that I always remember and it really hurts me. I used to have 6 Bitcoin and out of ignorance, I sold all of them very, very cheap. And sometimes I'm like, if only I had kept them, I would have resigned from my 9 to 5s. So, like, it's in the past now, but sometimes I just, like, especially when things get really difficult, and I'm like, oh,
you convert it to the present.
Yeah, because I've been working since I can remember. Yeah. Like, I've worked really hard, and sometimes I look and be like, where I am currently now, financially, I should have surpassed exponentially where I am, but there are some financial mistakes that I have made that once in a while, they just spring up, and I tend to overthink it, and I'm like, you've done it before, you can do it again. So that's why I said there are some, apart from the financial aspect as well, there are some decisions that I have made. Sometimes they spring up here and there. I've forgiven myself, but I'm in the process of like letting go of everything and just because the past should be in the past.
Okay, that's a very good one. This is 9th one, second to the last. What relationships have shaped you the most and how?
I would say relationship with my dad is number 1. Because we are 9, and apart from that, I would say like ever since I've known me growing up, the minimum we used to be in the house is like 11, 12, but most times 17, 18, 20. Like my dad made me grow up in such a large family. Sometimes it's good and bad, but like what I mean by that is that in as much as we were a lot, my dad had different relationships with everybody, but he was present in everybody's lives. I don't know how he did it, but it's something that tomorrow, when I think about it, I think of how great of a man he was. He was very, very present in my life. He taught me leadership. He taught me planning. He taught me how to believe in myself. He taught me that it's okay to make mistakes and come back from them. He taught me discipline. Like, he taught me so much. I wouldn't say we spent short time because I was 28 when he died, but like the time that he spent with me, it was so impactful that I try to also share that with others. And I'm hoping that by God's grace, if I'm destined to be a mom, I would want to have the same impact that he had in my life. I would want to have the same impact in my children. So that relationship is something that I love so much. And then another relationship too is the one I have with my siblings. My siblings, I see them as one. Even though there are a lot, but I just see them as one. And what it has taught me is sacrifice and kindness. And my siblings, I sacrifice a lot for them. I think that's why, like, when you asked about like meaningful life or what, I can't remember the question, where I said like helping people. My siblings, because I nurtured most of them, it taught me how to make sacrifices in life, which now comes easier for me when it also comes to making sacrifices for people that are not my siblings, like extended family, friends and all. So relationship with my siblings also, it stressed me because when we were growing up, I did the majority of the house chores and they would not do much because my mom would say, oh, they are little children. But because of those things that I had to go through for them, it brought me to a place where I can also like be selfless. And let me put it that way, it taught me selflessness. And then a romantic relationship too, that the person has taught me also how to love someone genuinely, from the bottom of their heart. Like, that's also another one that I want to talk about. So, and then, how am I even forgetting? My mom too. My mom is someone that her kindness. There is this thing. There is my auntie that used to say in Igbo, even God will be mad at you. My mom is so. my mom She's so generous to an annoying point. So from her, I learned generosity, like to be able to help. Like my mom, material things, but she doesn't hold on to them because she just God gives and God takes. So from her, I learned how to be very generous, which also to some extent I'm quite generous. So it's something that the relationship I had with her, that was one thing that it taught me. And also being very kind. She's a very, very kind person. So I learned that from her as well.
Oh, that's really, really, really nice. I generally feel like people who have gone through certain life experiences tend to be more empathic because now they understand how it feels. So like when they see another person suffering, it's easier for them to like, try to help. The last but not the least, this one is a deep night question. So what do you believe happens after death, and how does that belief shape how you live? Oh, I didn't answer the second part, but
if you watched her part, if you haven't watched her part, go and watch it and come back. She says very spiritual, deep, very deep things that I haven't heard before. But honestly, that's just my thinking. Like when people die, I believe in spirit. Like I feel like this body, as you said, is a container. I believe that because even when I saw my dad's corpse, he didn't really look like my dad. It's just that I know that he is the person, but he looks different. So I just believe that people continue their journey. But the only thing that scares me is just that I feel like when we live here, we have another walk after life, like to continue from where we stopped here. So I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. So that's why sometimes, like whenever I'm praying for my dad, I used to pray, God, please let his journey be easier. Let him not suffer the way he suffered here. That's just how I believe that once we die here, that the job is going to continue. So sometimes how that affects my present life is that I believe that when I do good, probably in my afterlife, good will come to me. So that's how it impacts my present life. Yeah. So I don't know if that is true or like I believe in heaven, but like I don't know when we will now, if it's immediately you die that you go to heaven. But I just believe that afterlife, the journey continues. I don't know where it ends. So what I try to do is like, in case there is a journey after life, let the good deeds that I've done in this particular life help me when I get here.
This question is not here, but let me ask you randomly, based on as a continuity of what you said already. Do you believe in reincarnation?
Yeah. Why I believe so? This time I was telling my friend Maggie that I want to have just one son, and I want this son to be my dad. And let me explain why.
Yeah.
Because
so you want him to reincarnate?
Yeah, I want him to reincarnate and be my son so that I can take care of him. Because he really, really worked so hard and he didn't live long enough, to my understanding. Some people said him watching his children succeed is okay for him. But like to me, he didn't live long enough to enjoy the fruit of his labor. So that I want God to bring him back as my son so that I can take care of him and love him and show him so much, give him so much enjoyment that he didn't experience in this particular life. So that's why I believe it's weird, but that's actually why.
So that one, like what you said, is more of a wish, but like
no, that's why I believe in reincarnation, that people come back.
Okay.
Yeah, people come back.
So is this because you've seen it somewhere, or just because you wish that it should happen?
Because I've heard stories that are very, very believable.
Yeah.
Even though they might be weird.
Yeah.
But I've heard very believable stories. And then there are some things that, like, even online, when you hear people say things, like when they say, oh, this is what their kids said. And you know that if it's not someone that has not been here before, they wouldn't know such deep things or make such statements.
Yeah.
So to some extent, I'm like, maybe you will get sent back to complete what we're not able to complete in this present life. So that's why I believe in reincarnation. And then that's also what I'm saying, like, as I believe in it, like, I would want my dad to be reincarnated, but as my son.
Interesting.
Do you believe in reincarnation?
Yeah, I think to some extent. I don't think it's common, but I think, like, when I think about the spiritual things, it sounds possible that because there are some times that you have an out of world experience and you're like, and you see people's experiences as well, and you can tell that
something,
an alignment, an alignment in spirits, like. Do you understand? So let me not go too deep, but I think it's possible.
Then there's this question I want to ask. I'll give you my answer. Okay. Do you want to come back to this life again?
No.
My answer is no.
No.
Nobody should bring me back here. Nobody should bring me back here.
So
because bring me back as phone pack. Just so that I don't have to go. See, these adults these adults are really messed up.
I don't even want to come back as phone pal.
If you're
when you're tossing it around, no, I don't want to come back again.
But just leave me in heaven. Let me be bowing.
Yeah, because if you think about it, if you never existed, you don't have any consciousness.
Yeah.
Because who we are is our consciousness. So if you don't have that, you're not missing anything.
True. Don't bring me back. Thank you guys so much for joining us in this episode. We hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions or anything you want us to talk about, be kind enough to leave it in the comments. Read all your comments. And thank you so much for joining us in this one.
Guys.
And we'll see you guys in our next episode. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
Peace out, guys.